I couldn't work out which of these two cars that I was going to review today, the Honda NSX or this, because they both appear at the same time on the Season Pass. Well, as it turns out, this one is slower, so by default I'm reviewing it first. So, the Mazda RX8. A car which has an interesting engine, with an even more interesting name, twice. Because it's a Wankel engine. Yes, it means that I can say Wankel and laugh about it. Without any context. Delicious. Basically, it was a type of engine made by a Mr. Felix Wankel, because he's German, but Wankel is much funnier. And we like the funny things here. It's a rotary engine. That's what it is, but it's the Wankel rotary engine, so we say Wankel. Rotary engines, if you didn't know, here we go with my lack of mechanical knowledge. Basically, can be one, can be multiple, triangular cylinders which basically rotate around a chamber. And then that's how it generates the power, instead of cylinders on a camshaft. Or is it a crankshaft? Drive shaft, possibly? I have no idea. Very little mechanical knowledge, me. And as it turns out, it generates a lot of power. 1.3 litre twin rotor this car has. And yet it has 240 brake horsepower. And that's without tuning. So that's a 1.3 litre engine with 240 brake horsepower. That's a stupidly high power density, especially considering the fact that this is a early 2000s car. It's also a saloon. Well, not really. Right, how do I explain this? It's got two doors, two big doors, but then at the back, can you see there's like a second window and a split? Usually, there should be an extra set of basically suicide doors there, which don't do much other than ease access into the rear seats. They didn't really need to be there, but, you know, they're there and that's cool. Also, relatively spacious boot, but I want to go back to the engine because Mazda have named it something quite funny. They say it's derived from the word Genesis. So it could be like Gen or whatever. It's called the Renesis. Now, that's not deriving. That's taking one letter and swapping it. Still, could be worse. I can think of many things that they could have gone with rather than Renesis. They could have changed that G to a P and given us the Penises engine. See? Wankel penises. Oh, Mazda, you missed out on such an enormous opportunity. Now, these things developed a cult following in the tuning community because of how cheap they are to buy second hand. I went on Auto Trader and saw one for 900 quid. That's insane. That's like less than most people's rent per month. Jesus Christ. The most expensive one there was like 8 or 9 grand, so, you know, either way, pretty cheap. Which is why they, you know, they've got a cult following in the drift community. Because you can buy them for pretty much zilch money. Unfortunately, that's only face value. If you look into running costs, it's more like remortgaging a house. You're looking at engines pretty much every month. I'm over-exaggerating here, but Wankel engines are notoriously unreliable. In fact, a running gag in the people that drive Wankel engine cars community is when you see another person with a Wankel engine car, put up a number of fingers as you drive past. That's how many engines you've gone through. These things go through engines like Henry VIII went through wives. It's actually insane. I do feel sorry for Mazda, because these things should have been so good. but we're just killed by that unreliable yet brilliant engine. Because, make no mistake, these are brilliant engines. High revving, powerful, small, and yet really, really cool. But no, it's just really unreliable. It's such a shame. Still, at least for like, you know, maybe 2 seconds, you too can drive a 240 horsepower car for 900 quid. Until the engine blows up and you're stranded at the side of a motorway. Oh dear. I mentioned how powerful and high revving these engines were, but seriously, look how quick it is. We are zooming. Bear in mind that this is a bog standard car. No extra upgrades or rubbish or whatever. Just purely me and no modifications. How ironic. Anyway, yeah, this thing is stupidly quick. I'm really impressed. I feel like we may have a second really good car coming along for today. For this week, which is a rare occasion when your week's full of CDT cars. No offense CDT, but a lot of the time your cars are dog shit now. But this one isn't, at least not in the straight line. And in the corners, well, it's not... Oh, for fuck's sake. It's not bad per se, but it's also missing something. Like, yeah, you've got a, you know, pretty stiff chassis. Suspension is quite hard, and the back is, how do I put this, wriggly. But it's also got a good turn-in. And nice feel. So yeah, it's, how do I put that? It's got its ups and downs. Could be worse, could be better, but all in all, not the worst thing I've driven. But it is a bit of a tuner car. But it's when you start to slide that you can tell where this chassis has been tuned for. This is, without a doubt, the moment you step in it, you can feel this is meant to be very resemblant of a drift car, but without all the stupid understeer. And yeah, it is very good at drifting. Just as long as you aren't a spoon like me and can't drive. But like, check this out. Oh, fuck. Why can I not drift? But still, it's very chuckable, easy to get back, nice and slidey. Just like one of my ex-boyfriends. I'm kidding. But seriously though, it's a proper drift car. But without all the problems of a drift car like the Nissan Liberty Walk from earlier in the week. Which in my books is pretty bloody good. I hope it does well on circuit, I really do. This is a great car. A genuinely really great car. After the bad foot we got off of the start of the season, this is finally making it worthwhile. The last tier car. Worth it. I can guarantee you it's worth it. Come on. Let's prove it with this fast lap. Off the line. Power into the corner. Oh. I am so mucking this up. There we go. Proper stuff. Nice and powerful. Easy in the bends. Brake here. Okay, I maybe should have braked a bit earlier. But still. What a brilliant, brilliant thing. Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. As I nearly overcook it. And thunk it into a wall or something. 42.2. Which, coming from a stock car, is really impressive. So with all that in mind, I think you can tell what my answer is to the question, should you finish the season and get this Mazda RX8 because it's a free car? Yes, you should finish the season. It is wonderful. Even if the season does take quite a bit of effort to finish, especially if you haven't got the Elite Pass, which gives you the finish laps of the season race task. But it's worth it. It's worth it. I love this thing. Anyway, I will be seeing you all tomorrow with an Ayrton Senna developed car. I don't really need to leave any hints like that anyway. You all know it's going to be the Honda NSX that's been tuned. Which isn't much of a bombshell, it's more of a firework. Popping candy, actually. But I will see you then. In the meantime, I don't know, live your life. I don't have any control of you. This isn't like the 1800s or whatever.